can you imagine what it will be like 10, 15 years from now to say that your company had a role to play in the restructuring of this whole community with a new JFK? So Justin, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Grant. Good morning to you. Good morning, Danielle. Good morning to the audience. And again, thank you for having me. Just a little bit about the project. We are one of 4 redevelopment projects currently happening at the JFK redevelopment umbrella. We are, again, one of 4. If you visit this website that is currently on the screen, anewjfk.com, you can find a little bit more information about each of those terminal development projects, who your points of contact are, what are upcoming opportunities. But now I'm going just to focus on Terminal 1. Again, my name is Justin Debra. I am the Diversity Compliance Manager for the new Terminal 1. We are currently an all-international terminal. We will be remaining an all-international terminal after we build a world-class terminal. So we're currently at Terminal 1. We will be expanding the footprint to about 3 times that size. It will be occupying the current Terminal 1, Terminal 2, and Terminal 3. As far as opportunities, there is no opportunity that's too small. There is no opportunity that is too large. There is no scope of work that isn't right for you, right? So when you think of construction and you think of terminal development, you're like, oh, this is probably only work for contractors. That is the wrong thought process. There is no opportunity that you can't bid for. So opportunities will be available to all MWBEs, to everyone in the community. I think first and foremost is staying engaged with those points of contacts that you will find on this website. If you are interested in the new Terminal 1, I am your person. I also work with the team, Kimberly Hardy and Rosalie Polanco. We collectively want to keep you involved, engaged, and up to date on what is coming. Dr. Grant, as you mentioned, we were supposed to be shoveling ground last year in 2020. COVID happened, which set us back a bit. We were unable to come to terms with the design build team at that time. So we had to go back out to the market to find a team who would be interested in this project and that could take on the volume at that time. We've since then gone out to the market, RFQ. We are currently in an RFP phase and a competitive bid process. So we hope to have a selection within Q4 of this year and commence construction by Q1 of next year.
When you talk about the airport, you talk about a whole new JFK, they have taken themselves out of the running because they're not into construction. And I really want you to highlight a little bit about that before going into the details of how they can ready themselves, because we do plan to feature some of the other developers in the part 2 of this conversation. But I really want your expertise here today to really go a little wider on how you can participate in this if you're not in construction. So let's act like we're talking to a whole bunch of folks with professional services. Those in construction, you'll talk to them too, but I don't want them to miss the vast opportunities that are available. And they're like, how can I be a part? They're coming on, Justin. They're coming for you. So you have a whole lot of new friends after today.
I'm ready. I'm ready for friends. It's been far too long with no friends, all 2020. It's a great point, Dr. Grant. And again, as I mentioned before, construction isn't the only avenue onto this project, right? So as a developer, we are responsible for financing, design, construction, and once the terminal is built, operations and maintenance of that terminal for a number of years thereafter. So to your point, construction is not the only thing, right? We're looking for opportunities to get engaged in every facet of this project. I mean, from purchases of toilet paper or fruit or catering or venues. Again, you think of a project, you think of construction, but you have to also keep in mind all of the support services. Firms that would be engaged on this project, they may need back office support. They may need accounting services. They may need help with marketing. These are all areas that we want to bring the MWB community into. That way they can flourish, and that they don't need to only work directly with the developer or the general contractor. They can also network amongst themselves or with other companies that are also involved in supporting the project. So again, no scope of work too small or too big. You shouldn't shy away because you aren't in the contracting field. You're not a trade contractor, you're not affiliated with the union. You should not let this hinder you getting onto the project, right? So make the connections with the terminal development contacts, those that can tell you a little bit more about their opportunities and their project requirements, and stay involved with them. Now, as far as where our project is, all the opportunities are forthcoming. I mentioned still in the market and working through this design builder selection process, right? So everything is pretty much on pause until we get to that point. Once we get there, things will be hot and heavy and moving at 100 miles an hour. So we do want to be ready. We do want to keep everyone engaged. We want the community to be involved. We want them to be aware of what's going on. We want them to stay in communication with us so that we can keep you up to date.
Do you want all business owners to engage with you at this point and begin to build relationships? Are you looking to work with construction and you say, well, reach out to us in 6 months if you are doing, making sandwiches or whatever? How should the business owners, or how and when should the business owners, based on their type of services, begin to engage with the new Terminal 1, with your folks?
Danielle, that's a great question. Now is the time. Now. You want to start now. Again, scopes of work may not materialize for a number of months, as you mentioned. But if we don't know who you are, we cannot pair you with those opportunities once they come online, right? So we do want to get familiar with you, with the business, the services that you can offer, and how you can support the project. We start those conversations now. We can connect you with the right decision makers for when those opportunities come online. And that goes beyond just working with the terminal, with our terminal. This goes directly with the Port Authority or even with the other terminal development projects, right? The needs are there. We're not competing with one another, but there are some competing interests. But we do work together to build a community because we do have a job to build, and we want to build it successfully, on time, on budget, and build the capacity in the community. Unlike most other projects, we are able to utilize firms that are certified with New York State Empire State Development as well to credit those dollars toward the goal, right? So if you hear anyone that says, hey, you have to be certified with, agency A or agency B, that doesn't mean you have to be certified with them to work on the project. All it means is you have to be certified with that applicable agency for that firm to claim credit toward a particular goal, right? We hear 30% on whatever it is on any project, but that's how you would credit those dollars toward that goal, and that's how that contractor would satisfy that goal. So that's just more of a prereq, right? So again, being certified with those two agencies is very much important. Now, I did want to just, before we jumped into that and before we left the food session, you mentioned someone who made sandwiches and they were looking to be a concessionaire. I would say, again, starting those conversations now with us is very important because there are other avenues outside of concessions, right? We will need to feed the workers, right? We will need to cater events that we have. So there are other opportunities that you can play on that you don't have to wait for or specify yourself into that box. Hey, I want to wait till operations and maintenance and concessions. That's 5 years down the line, right? So we do want to do that.
Absolutely. So I was jumping in because we had a question from one of our listeners, Mecca Nelson, who's into health and wellness services. She does mindfulness and mental health. So she was wondering if there was a way for a business like hers, and she's gone through the path of getting certified and looking at different opportunities. I think that's a great case study for you to address on where that could be and where that could end up in this whole redevelopment space. So I just wanted to address that and then let you go on with what you were sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to connect. Again, no scope, too small, too big, or shouldn't be involved. Let's have the conversation and see how you can support the project.
Awesome. So with that being said, newjfk.com is the website that you see scrolling. And if you click on the new Terminal 1, you can contact Justin and the whole team and be able to set up conversations. There are office hours that are held weekly, and those office hours are where you can set up virtually an appointment so that you can talk about opportunities. And I love the fact that Mecca raised that question because you can think of so many different ways, even on the construction site, that her services might be a way to reimagine dealing with the daily stressors of what's going on in the construction, on building. I mean, there's so many things that we just have to think differently about. And as we look at all of the imagery on the screen with the new Terminal 1, it makes you reimagine what a experience can be entering into an airport and then finding all of those incredible business owners locally, like Danielle and myself, as well as those who are a little further out in the catchment area, so to speak, of where this project lands. But having you on, having the other terminal developers and members of the Port Authority come on in part 2, this is really to highlight what you said, Justin. Down the line, 4 or 5 years from now is not when to start. Danielle asked that question very strategically because building the relationships now will ready you. If you're not certified, you still have time to get certified.
That's right.
If you haven't gone for the technical support, you still have time to do that. And the fact that you are building those relationships now is key to how we can close out this fourth quarter. Because quite honestly, Danielle can attest, if you put in the right work, if you get the right support, she does a lot of technical assistance with small businesses. You can get your paperwork in before 2021 closes.
But before we can actually dive and talk about opportunities, we want to ensure that to talk about outreach. On this project, outreach is really one of the main key to ensure its success, to ensure that the community remain informed on this project. And as the senior community outreach specialist for the program, I serve as the primary contact for the JFK Redevelopment program in terms of engagement and community outreach. I also help to operate our JFK Community Information Center, which is the whole center for the community to stay in contact. And I'm really happy to share that around this project, and Hirsch could really speak more to that, is that we are in partner with the community, and in the primary inception of this project, we had to ensure that we work very closely with the community. And that is how our advisory council took place. And this advisory board comprised of elected officials, local businesses, clergies, and community, local business, that we formed this council to ensure that we have a space where we can communicate. We have a space where we can continue to engage, and where we have a space where businesses in our local community can find that opportunity to speak around this project. And I must say, this is a really huge project. And there's one thing that I always speak when it comes to engagement. There's a very different level at this project. There's level 1, there's level 2, level 3, but there's always an opportunity that someone can gain from there. And from our outreach perspective, our office is open every Tuesdays and Thursday from 9 to 5. So this is where you will have a chance to speak with our developers. And Hirsch will definitely go more into that. And also with our consultant partners, they are here every Tuesdays and Thursday to provide information around this project. And one of the very most important things that I'm really happy about is because we do have a robust outreach team that is here to connect you. Whether if it's Port Authority when it comes to certification, we do have that available as well every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Whether if it's to connect you with jobs related to constructions and around the airport and aviation, we are here to continue to strengthen that outreach effort. And from our end, we're working very closely with the terminal developers to ensure that every single project, every single opportunity that comes on board, that you and the community is well aware of it. Hirsch will speak more to what is currently available, and I'm really excited to see how the community can continue to benefit from this economic opportunities. And with that being said, I'll jump back on board. I'll pass it over to Hirsch.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be on From the Ground Up with you, Dr. Grant, and you, Danielle. Good to see both of you. And hello to your audience. Very excited to be here with all of you. I'm just going to add my endorsement for the EGOT Award for this show and for our two wonderful hosts. I think very well deserved. Although I do want to hear your singing before we get into the Grammy part of it. So we'll talk. But in all seriousness, it is so important for us to be on here to share with you what is happening at the JFK Redevelopment Program, to share with you the opportunities that are here on the JFK Redevelopment Program. They're not coming anymore. They are here. And it is imperative for the businesses in the Southeast Queens community to know about them, to learn about them, to respond to them, and to share them with their neighbors and colleagues and fellow businesses as well. Just a quick background, as Danielle mentioned and as Rachel mentioned, the community has been at the forefront of the JFK redevelopment program right from the beginning. We are doing this redevelopment project a little differently than we have in the past, making sure that opportunities for the community, whether it be for businesses, for job seekers, for students, are there. And we are doing it in partnership with grassroots organizations, with elected leaders, with business organizations, with everybody, because we all know that the best way for the community to win here is for the community to work together here. And we are here to work together with the community because, we are part of the community. I'm born and raised in Queens. I live in Jamaica now. Rachel is from Queens as well. We are so proud to have her on our community outreach team, leading our community outreach team, because she knows the community as well. And so we are proud to do that. And we have the advisory council, like I said, chaired by the dynamic Congressman Gregory Meeks and Queensborough President Donovan Richards. And they make sure that we continue keeping the community at the forefront. So let's talk about opportunities, because that's what we're here to share with you. That's what you're all here to learn about. So let's just begin with, again, the prioritization of the community. We have, from the beginning, said that not only are we going to look to bring opportunities locally, but really hyper-local. We identified about 36 zip codes in the Southeast Queens and surrounding communities that are our priority for local participation. The map you see on your screen highlights all 37 of those zip codes. These are what we call our Tier 1 priority zip codes. If you have a business in these zip codes, headquartered based in these zip codes, our developer partners and the Port Authority have a focus in ensuring that they share opportunities and, more importantly, award opportunities to your business. And that could be anything from construction to professional services to design, architecture, photography, HVAC, janitorial. I mean, you name it. This is a major project with lots of different needs. And like I said, we are intensely focused on the most hyper-local communities around the airport. But worry not, if you are tuning in from another part of Queens or another borough, there are plenty of opportunities available for you as well. While JFK Redevelopment itself is a massive program, it's made up of individual terminal projects. And if you visit our website, which is scrolling at the bottom of your screen, anewjfk.com, you can learn about each individual project, whether it's the new Terminal 1 project, which you just heard from, or the Terminal 4 project, which you will be hearing from, or the Terminal 8 project, or the Terminal 6 project. They are all building new or expanding existing terminals. And each of our private partners is just as committed as we are to ensuring the success and the opportunities for local businesses, for local MWBEs. So you look at on your screen, you see all of the terminal projects with information about who makes up their project team. I encourage all of our viewers to visit the website, anewjfk.com, get familiar with the announcements shared on there, get familiar with the project teams. And once you've done that, the next tab you want to visit is the Work With Us tab. And that's where you're going to see each of the terminal projects, each of the projects where there are opportunities available now. So let's go ahead and click on the Delta JFK IAT project. And you will see open opportunities, how you can access them. You see they are in progress. They are actively soliciting right now. And again, this is for construction, but it's for more than construction. We at the Port Authority have required a 30% MWBE goal in all categories of work. That includes professional services, architecture, design, engineering, construction, and those are what's out right now. But after the construction is finished, there's also a 30% requirement in the operations and maintenance of the terminal. So there are plenty of opportunities, but it is up to you to make sure you take a look at them, you reach out to the terminal developers, you express your interest, you complete the pre-qualification paperwork, and you get through that door. And if you have any questions, any difficulty, as Rachel said, our community team is here to assist you. We can assist you in person at our community outreach office on 144th Street and Jamaica Avenue. We can assist you virtually with our consultants, R.F. Wilkins and Crescent Consulting, but we are here to assist you to get your foot through that door and to compete for and win opportunities. If we click on the JMP tab, you will see other opportunities at Terminal 6. Again, they are actively soliciting if now and in the coming weeks and months. So I'm going to reiterate this. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the opportunities are starting now. We were on a COVID pause due to the pandemic for about 1.5 years, but we see forward movement, and now is the time to learn about what's happening, reach out to the developers, reach out to the Port Authority, reach out to our consultants and ask for assistance. And then lastly, before I wrap up my comments here, we have, as Rachel said, quarterly advisory council meetings. So if you go to the public outreach tab and click on Community Advisory Council, which our fearless Dr. Stacy Grant is our phenomenal facilitator for, we have quarterly meetings. We had our last meeting on October 7th. Those meeting minutes are now posted under the Minutes tab. You can go and take a look at what each developer presented, learn about their teams, learn about the opportunities, find out how to reach them. Our next advisory council meeting will be on a date to be determined in the fourth quarter, sometime in December. We encourage you to join that meeting that is open to the public. It will be a virtual meeting, so hopefully a little more accessible for all of you. But that is, again, where you learn about opportunities. You have the ability to directly connect with the developers, the decision makers, so that you can share with them who you are, what your business does, and how you can be part of this, as Dr. Grant says, this legacy project.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to From the Ground Up, real-time issues with real-time solutions for MWBEs and small businesses, brought to you by Queen Strategy Partners. Nicole Valentine, Esquire, Danielle Douglas, and myself, Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant. We thank you for tuning in, for joining the show, for sharing out the content. It really means a lot, because then we know that we're doing our job. We're giving you the solutions. So it's hard to believe that another year has come and almost gone, and we've been together the first and the third Tuesday of every month. Yes, we changed our programming schedule for 2021, but you've still been faithful. You've been here. You've been sharing and doing something with the information. So don't let us do all this hard work getting all gussied up for you on the first and third Tuesdays, and then you don't use the information. So thank you for being here once again. And now it's my favorite part of the show, where I get to introduce my beautiful, amazing, dynamic co-host, my sister from another mother, the beautiful Danielle Douglas.
And I want to say good morning to you all. Thank you, as I always say, Miss Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant. I love you back. And you always say you love me double. I love you quadruple. How's that? I'm going to top you today. So how are you folks doing? We are so excited, because guess what? We are here with a special guest. We're going to let her introduce herself. But we got more information to give you about the $13 billion JFK redevelopment project. We are not done. This is the third installment. And you know why? Because there's opportunities. And guess what? Don't be standing knee deep in a river of water and dying of thirst, because there's resources and opportunities out there for you. So we wanted to give it to you in little chunks. We wanted to not just throw everything at you at one time. And so again, we have our guest with us today. We're going to again let her introduce herself and tell you about the opportunities that are yours to be had.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for having me this morning. So good morning, beautiful ladies. I feel honored to be in the presence of all of this magic this morning. I feel the energy. But again, good morning for the viewers at home. My name is Jacinta Jean, and I'm the operations manager here at Gateway JFK. Gateway JFK is a business improvement district, and what makes us unique is out of the 74 bids in New York City, we are the first bid that's actually dedicated to both residents and business owners. So approximately we have 600 plus businesses in the district, over 8,000 employees, and 4.1 million worth of commercial space, meaning warehouses, offices. So Gateway JFK is always open for business, and we try our best to partner small businesses with commercial leasing space to just propel and pivot their businesses forward. A lot of people don't know that $8.6 billion worth of the air cargo industry comes out of Business Improvement District of Gateway JFK, literally, because we are connected to the airport. So that's a lot of money we're talking about. A lot of money.
8.6 billion?
8.6 billion with a
Wow.
B.
And
Okay.
is that above and beyond the $13 billion redevelopment project?
The redevelopment project is a separate budget, but this is just to show you what is going on in this small little subpar of Southeast Queens. Literally, it's really, really small. It's just 215 acre stretch land, literally. And when you come here, you just see a whole bunch of warehouses and trucks. You don't think anything of it. No, all of that is dollar signs. That's opportunity.
Wow.
Literally.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, ching, ching, wheeling out of buildings. And it's a very unique industry. A lot of people don't really know much about the air cargo space or the logistics space, but all the beautiful there's opportunities. All the beautiful clothing that you ladies wear, 9 out of 10 times, it is stored in a warehouse right here in Gateway JFK. And a lot of people do not know that.
Desita, look, we got to back up because you're dropping a whole lot. People are still trying to organize the 8.6 million. A lot of our businesses, you just mentioned $8.6 billion opportunity, warehouses, different sorts of logistics that can assist businesses and small businesses in the area. Because, honey, we're going to have to talk after the show because I might need some space over there in JFK. But explain what a bid is.
And we were seeking out a local MWBE cleaning firm to come in and to clean the entire district on not a daily basis, but a 3-day weekend, agreement. So we had the process of interviewing tons of businesses throughout Queens, a few from Southeast Queens. And, we're still in the deliberating processes and trying to narrow down what local business we do want to work with. But that's just an example of, what opportunities that we have. And the interesting thing about that is, in the beginning stages, I actually reached out to the Port Authority and I asked them, I said, hey, what MWBE firms do you have that are a part of a cleaning company that might be, able to do the scope of work that I'm looking for? And literally they were diligent, they were on it, they sent me a list, and then after that we went from there. It's always good to connect the dots. It's always good to see that we are making an impact, because that contract that's issued, those contracts are sometimes issued for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So imagine you're a small business, you have a contract that's locked in for 6 figures. That can make a great thing for your business. You can take that, reinvest it. That's marketing dollars. That's generational wealth. That's a lot of opportunities that you can do for yourself as a business owner and still give back to your community. So that's just one of the examples of, one of the small things that we are doing, but it's a big stride in a big way because it's making a huge difference.
How can business owners find out about additional opportunities? Should they go on the website, or are you, is it a multi-pronged approach that you may list the opportunity, but then also you may tap into Port Authority as a resource to identify, specific local businesses that can provide those type of services you are in need of?
Right. I always say the best thing to do is just subscribe to our newsletter. to be quite honest with you, because we always make sure that these opportunities are open to the public. But again, being a Southeast Queens girl, I want to make sure that, my community is front and center. My community is getting these opportunities, and my community knows what's going on, right? Because, hey, if I'm sitting and I can give opportunities to people, why not share it with my community first? So yes, I'm always going to tap into Port Authority. I'm always going to ensure that, my MWBE certified businesses are getting, the information up front firsthand. But, if you're another business, let's say, and you're not MWBE certified yet, or you're still waiting for your certification, it's not to say that you can't have these same opportunities. Of course you can, but you just have to subscribe, because that's the best way we can provide the information, up front to say, hey, this is the opportunity that we have.